the night before, Jonathan had told Kat that Jonathan had told Kat that Dale wants to go on a date so Kat can see him sweat. And then Alicia goes to the most unreputable guy in the whole villa and asks Jeremy, "Is this true?" And he's like, "Oh no, that's not true." And she's like, "Okay, Jonathan, why are you lying?"
Is this true? To the one guy that's also bad mouthing
Yeah.
his girl. And you can see like Jeremy was partially maybe like if Dale's stuff got out, my
Yeah.
stuff might get out.
But yeah, and
Yeah.
then Dale's like, "Oh, we gotta clear this up, da 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 da," and then proceeds to not clear anything up and stumble over his words, continue to lie to her.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, I don't think Jonathan has a reason to lie at this point in time. Well,
No.
number one, he didn't because we saw the clip of Dale saying that.
Yeah.
And then even if we didn't have that evidence, I think Jonathan is pretty clear on the fact that Kat is not really looking at him as anything more than a friend. So he would not necessarily have any motivation at this point in time to try to like position himself in Kat's radar. I think he was just
Right.
genuinely trying to look out for her.
Yeah, I think like it was interesting that Dale was like so much like we have to go clear this up when he fully knows what he said.
Yeah.
So it's like why did you come in there like the evidence wasn't against you?
Yeah.
Because if like you could have just kind of like maybe not addressed it and let her address it, but you chose to come and say like, what are you saying? Like, what did you hear? Blah blah blah. When you know what she heard,
Yeah.
the truth. Like you
Yeah.
know that's the truth. And I'm so glad that the editors showed us the clip so that we could
Yeah.
go into that conversation knowing what the truth was, and
Yeah.
kind of just seeing how he weasels his way out. So it's like to be confrontational and to start the conversation of like that's not true, blah blah blah. And then when asked what he said or whether he said the thing that she heard him say, he was like, well. That was just boy talk. That was
Yeah.
just boy talk?
Right.
What do you mean? Like it's no, it was your true feelings, and now you're
Yeah.
you're upset that she heard it. So it's like, yeah, so to kind of come in at 100 and then be faced with what he knows is the truth and what she heard, and then suddenly be like, oh, well, I didn't expect you to have like the exact words that I said. And then to not even, and again, he can't be direct because to not even deny it. You
Yeah.
came in there saying that's not true. So either stand on that and keep lying or like admit to it. But to
Yeah.
just be like, oh, I don't know. I mean, it's just like what I don't know. It's like, come on. Be direct. Make a
Yeah.
choice in what you're going to commit to. But to continue to be vague is just it's just stringing her along, and it's not like giving her any clarity. And then like what we talked about before, it's like he wants to give a lack of clarity so that
Yeah.
when something comes out, like it's not he can't she can't say that he lied,
Yeah.
but she also can't say that he was honest and upfront with her. So it's like he's keeping himself in this safe gray space, but it's not safe because at this point this is just as bad as directly lying because you are not saying that you're not admitting to it, but
Yeah.
you're also not denying it when it's like presented to you. And so I think he's just trying to stay in a safe space with her and again until someone else comes along.
Yeah.
Because he knows what he said. But yeah, to be confrontational about it when he knows what he
Yeah.
said, he can't. So if when the what gets spilled about Jeremy, when that happens, if he comes up like I can't believe why would anybody say I said that? It's like you did say that.
Yeah.
That's such a crazy way to respond to what you know is the
Yeah.
truth. Is to come at like at it at 100 and be angry
Yeah.
when you've just been caught in what you know you said. So it's like either admit to it or be angry at the person who told. He can be angry at Jonathan all he
Right.
wants. He can be
Yeah.
angry at Jonathan for spilling it. But
Yeah.
he cannot be mad at Kat and he can't be mad. He can't be like when Kat wants to talk about it, he can't just be like avoidant
Yeah.
because Kat deserves now that she does know, she deserves to know what you meant. So
Yeah.
just clarify what you meant. It's crazy and it's so frustrating and I honestly I cannot believe that Kat is still giving him the time of day.
Yeah.
She's been giving evidence after evidence after evidence that this is not the man for her,
Yeah.
and she is still trying to make it work. And I think it's just a relationship of convenience, though, at this point. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just crazy. I was so frustrated. Boy talk? That
Yeah.
was just boy talk? What about that was boy talk? You just said that you want to date other people to make her nervous. That's not
Yeah.
boy talk, that's manipulation talk. And if we're associating manipulation with masculinity and boy talk, then that's another issue.
Yeah. I think the thing is, I think Dale's strategy was to try to get ahead of the rumor. And I think he was like, well, if I just like come in and act like I'm going to address everything, then that'll paint me as a trustworthy partner. And like she will know that like I have nothing to hide because I feel like he saw it as like, okay, if I come to her first and I address this first before she has to come to me, then that shows I have nothing to hide and I'm like, I'm honest and I'm trustworthy. But I don't think he thought through what he would actually say once he got to the conversation. I think he just like, he does a lot of distracting and like throwing like big grand gestures in her face to try to like knock her off base. So I think he was like, we're gonna address this now. Let's clear this up. Like da da da. So that she's like, oh my gosh, like he's so honest and confrontational to try to downplay the fact that like everything else he says after that is like just gibberish.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He thought if he comes in so strong, he can't have possibly have said that. But then
No.
like but he underestimated that she was going to, rather than take him at face value, immediately ask him, did you say this exact
Yeah.
thing? Like he came into the battle with no ammunition. Like
Yeah.
he thought he was just gonna be able to like, like wave his gun around and
Yeah,
people
he
would
thought
trust there was
showing up to the
ammunition in it.
battle was enough. And she's gonna be like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
Like
there's
someone
my
wouldn't even
man.
call him on his bluff. Like
Yeah.
he was gonna be like, "Here I am to fight. Like I'm
Yeah.
obviously well equipped. You don't want to fight me." And then someone called him on his bluff, and
Yeah.
now he's acting like he didn't bring the conversation up. And he's like,
Right.
"Oh, now I can't believe you would accuse me of that."
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean? Yeah, it was just a weird way to handle it,
Yeah.
a toxic way to handle it.
Yeah, yeah. And I agree with what you said, like, regardless of if he's like, being extra or not, like Kat is still not like she has enough evidence in front of her to make a decision with what she wants to do with this relationship. Like it's clear that Dale, this is just how he is. He's not gonna change. It would be great if he self-reflected, but he's not going to at this point in time. So it's also kind of on her, like, okay, what are you gonna do with this information presented to you? And I feel like she also didn't consider the fact that like Jonathan has no reason to just want to make this up. Like he's genuinely trying to look out for you as a friend. So like again, what do you want to do with that information? But I think that she's just like so I think it's also like I think it's a little bit of the sunken cost fallacy of like she's invested so much into this relationship that I feel like she just wants to like see it through to the end rather than admit defeat and be like, you know what, I chose wrong, like whatever, and just wipe her hands clean. I think she'd rather just like keep going and like try to make it work until she possibly can't anymore.
Yeah, because it's going to be impossible to start over at this point.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think she maybe came into this show really wanting a good romantic edit. She didn't have the best performance on Last Paradise. She ended up with someone, but the rumor is that he saw the show back and didn't really still want to be with her, because the show did not portray her in a good light. That's a rumor, so I'm not trying to get like a defamation suit or something. That's a rumor. We don't know why they ended it, but they ended it pretty quickly after the show aired. And she did not, I think, present her best self on
yeah,
Paradise. She also hasn't presented her best self on her regular season too,
yeah,
when she was on Zach's season. So she is known as a villain, and I think she was like, okay, this time I'm coming in here, I'm gonna have a good connection, and we're just gonna be like one of those safe couples that is
yeah,
off the show, and we're just gonna have a good time. And it's just the fact that it's not easy, and it's like
yeah,
he's being like this, and they can't just like fall into a safety. Like I think she's still trying to will it into
yeah,
something like comfortable. Like she wants them to get over this so they can just be a couple together and have no problems the rest of the show. But like Dale wasn't the person to do that with,
yeah.
because like he's not, doesn't have a great like relationship history on this show.
Yeah. And his
And
conflict resolution skills are clearly lacking. And he
yeah,
also doesn't have the same motivation of like, oh, I just want to like get into a safe couple. Like he's genuinely taking this as an opportunity of like, I'm on a free vacation. I get to hook up with whoever I want. So like, let me explore my options. That's his mindset going into the show. He's not coming in with the same, I think, thing to prove as Kat is, as like, let's just get into a safe, simple couple relationship.